Good morning, everybody. Happy Saturday. Happy weekend. Hope that you made it to the weekend well. Hope that your weekend is going well. For some of you in some parts of the world, you're already at the end of your Saturday. I'm just beginning my Saturday. But either way, it's great to be here with you. It's great to start off the weekend in this way. For me, sometimes the weekends just kind of blend into one another. Or rather, all the days blend into one another. So it's always surprising me when we do reach the weekend. But I'm here and I'm grateful for the time that we're going to be able to spend together, to be able to talk about data science, to keep on developing our skills, developing our community, and developing our collective knowledge, right? I mean, that's kind of the whole purpose of coming together like this online and on a stream. For those of you that are new, my intent is always to give you guys real world data science with no nonsense, no cheap courses, no fake promises, none of that stuff. So as part of that, we do what I refer to as our global roll call, where I ask you to please introduce yourself. Let me know your city, state, province, country. It's just a very easy way for you to participate, easy way for you to introduce yourself into the community and just kind of, be a part of our discussion. And at the same time, I think it also helps us maintain a little bit more of a professional attitude and professional outlook to our discussion. So please join me. Please join me in that by participating. Let us know your city, state, province, country. After that, sometimes I give an opening thought. Sometimes I don't. It just depends on the day. Depends if I have something to share or not. From there, I'm open to taking your questions, whether it's on your career, on a project, on data science, on philosophy, on AI, on machine learning, whatever it is you'd like. I've really enjoyed some of the discussions that we've been having recently. We've been talking on everything from legal items to career to philosophy to any number of things. So really welcome your thoughts and what you'd like to discuss. I think it's fun to keep the discussion open like that. You never know what people are going to ask. You never know what people are curious about, and that's okay, right? It's okay to have that variety in that conversation, that variety of thought, which is I think super important when it comes to data science. To be willing to understand other people's perspectives, as well as also be able to express your own perspective, right? And that's a good segue into the opening thought for today, because I've been having this discussion with a couple of different people, some people that I coach, some of my moderators, just different people at different times this week has come up with the notion that, as a data scientist, it's important for you to have an opinion. It's important for you to be able to have something that you believe in, or some perspective or some view on the greater topics within data science. Whether that's machine learning, or whether that's an algorithm, or self-driving cars, or robots, or government policy, whatever it is, it's important for you to have some sort of an opinion on it. When I lead my teams, I sometimes refer to this as planting a flag. You have to be willing and able to plant a flag in your projects, in your decisions, in your thoughts and views. These are all very, very healthy things to do throughout your career and the way you approach different things. I'll give you an example that relates to the teams that I was leading, but not necessarily data science. I was in charge of leading a conference for a past client. And that was a conference where we were going to be the organizers. We were going to be, doing promotions and the scheduling, the speakers, the technology we would need, so on and so forth. So a lot of moving pieces to this. And we had a pretty good organizing team, but we always had trouble with saying, this is the date of the conference and that's what we're going with. it was always moving. It was always, oh, well, you know, you don't want to do it on that holiday, and that's too close to this, that's too close to that. And the reality is that any date on a calendar, you can find excuses for why it's not a great date for a conference, right? Because a conference has so many different aspects to it of who will attend and things along those lines. So sometimes in those types of situations, I find it beneficial to plant a flag and just say, I'm going to make this decision. I'm going to be a leader of the group. I'm going to take some initiative, and I'm going to say, this is the date, and that's what we're sticking to. That's our date. That's what we're advertising. That's what we're moving forward with. I think it's very important to do that because it enables you to do your other planning. Until you can make a final decision, then everything else for your project is on hold, right? So it's the same thing where what if you're at a point with your data science team where you need to make a decision on a model, or you need to make a decision on an idea, or you need to make a decision on deployment or something along those lines? Start practicing now for being able to plant a flag and saying, this is the direction I think we need to go in. I've done my research, I've done my analysis, and this is what it shows me. This is where I think we should be headed. Very healthy for you to be able to have that attitude. And you can start now by practicing on having an opinion on some of the same items that I mentioned to you earlier. What's your view on generative AI? What's your view on robots? What's your view on the current state of LLMs? Whatever you want it to be, just make sure that you have your own analysis and your own viewpoint on things. Very important. Makes you. I think it elevates you to a different level of professionalism when you can do that. And I think it's a very healthy thing to do to develop your career and your clients. Okay? So I hope you keep that in mind. All right. So again, if you're just joining us, I'm already seeing people on YouTube and on X. I'm not seeing any Instagram people. I guess my Instagram people are being shy this morning. But feel free to introduce yourself. Let us know your city, state, province, country. And after that, after you've introduced yourself, I'm willing to take questions, willing to listen to whatever you guys have. Any thoughts, anything that you want to share, just let me know. I'm here for you guys. So looking forward to just seeing where the conversation takes us. All right, so starting from the top, Matari, our good friend Matari. Matari, you become such a consistent supporter. Really appreciate you, because I know you just joined us relatively recently. Hello, Sir Dennis. Good morning there. Good morning there. We have already finished our Saturday here in India. Yeah, I guess that's common, right? I mean, for me, it's like 8 a.m., right? So I'm just starting my Saturday. I'm going to do my stream. I'm going to go for my walk. I'm going to go pick up some groceries that I ordered, right? So for me, this is like the start of my day. But yes, I fully realize that for a lot of you guys, this is the end of your day. But I hope you're doing well out there in India. Hope you and your family are safe and well. Starry Vibes, excuse me, Starry Vibes, thanks for being here. Hello, sir. I hope you are well. I'm doing very well, thank you. Yeah, I after I finished the stream yesterday, I went for a hike. I went for a hike up in the mountains. Took my dog Kino. We had a really nice time out there. Not too difficult of a hike, but hard enough. But we had a good time. We saw some wild horses. I live in an area of the country where we have wild horses. Just kind of running around. So I got to see one wild horse yesterday. So that was kind of cool. But yeah, just trying to live a good life over here, Starry Vibes. That's all I'm doing. Denelson, our good friend Denelson from LA says, good morning, Dennis. Well, good morning to you too, Denelson. See, you and I are in the same time zone. So I know that you're just starting your Saturday. But I hope you have a good weekend. Hope you and your family are safe out there in LA. Joseph joining us on X. Thank you so much for the X engagement. I'd love to get more people on X. Hi Dennis, Joseph here from Paris. Oh, very cool. We get a few people from Western Europe. I'm really interested in your field and love tuning into your live sessions. They're a great mix of fun and professionalism. I appreciate that. You know what? That's a pretty good description. A mix of fun and professionalism. That's pretty much what I try to aim for. So I appreciate that assessment. Definitely want to keep things lighthearted, because data science, it can be fun and I'm very passionate about it. So no need to make this into some ridiculous math course or ridiculous coding, right? But at the same time, yeah, I do like to keep a professional tone. It's one of the reasons why I ask people to introduce themselves. And I think that's reflected in the fact that we really don't get a lot of spam. We really don't get a lot of nonsense in the chat. I have moderators, but my moderators aren't always available. I don't have moderators on every platform that I stream on. But, like the chat keeps it respectful, right? So I think that helps when you have like that attitude of professionalism. But thank you. What was that? Did you guys hear that? That was super weird. Did you guys hear that on my stream? There was like a bark or a groan that came out of my computer. That was crazy. Did I just lose something in my machine? That was wild. Sorry guys, I got a little distracted there, but my little Mac over here made a weird noise. What the heck was that? Let me know if you guys heard that on this stream, but like my Mac growled at me. That was crazy. Maybe my Mac is haunted. That was weird. Okay, as I was saying, Joseph, I think that, just keeping everything in the chat professional helps. Guys, if you guys are looking for a good book on leadership, there's a writer out there by the name of Amy Jen Sue, who writes about leadership, and her books help me a lot. And one of the things that I really enjoyed from her books was that the tone starts from the top, right? The tone starts from the top in how you, as the leader, act. If you are messy or late or not organized or not ready for meetings, then your team will be the same, right? So your team feeds off your energy, right? Off your example. So that's one of the things that I try to do, is I try to set the example by keeping things professional. And that in turn helps everybody else, act accordingly. So I'd like to think that's part of the reason. I don't know if I'm right or wrong on that, but we'll see. We'll see. Star Ice Penguin, welcome. I think it's your first time. Let us know where you're from. Let us know your city, state, province, and glad you're here. I think pretty sure it's your first time, so thank you so much. Nice. Joseph says, I am a daily user of the employee ChatGPT at work. Nice. I see what you did there. For emails, promotional content through newsletters, sentiment analysis, etc. I guess generative AI helped me gain 2 to 3 hours of productivity daily. Yeah. Joseph, I love the fact that you're putting metrics on it. I love that. I love that you're willing to start assigning numbers to it. That's great. So here's the thing, Joseph. You're not the only one noticing those metrics. Your boss is noticing those too, right? So I predict that we are going into an era where you will work exactly the way you're mentioning, but the deadlines will come faster, right? Those 2 to 3 hours of savings that you're seeing now, which is probably accurate, right? There's no reason to doubt that number. It'll become compressed. Like the demands from your bosses, from your projects, from your just the overall pace will eat up those 2-3 hours. So I would encourage all of us to start thinking not so much in how much did I save, but more how much more did I produce, right? I mean, because you mentioned like promotional content through newsletters. Okay, so let's just say before you would produce a weekly newsletter, right, Joseph? Well, that will turn into now you're going to be doing 6 monthly newsletters, 6 newsletters every month, right? So it's not so much that I save the time, it's that I will be expected to do more. My overall production level and the expectations of those levels will rise. That's almost certainly coming, right? That's one of the aspects of Gen AI that a lot of people don't talk about, but the pace that you will be expected to work at will be much faster. And then that's going to have an upstream effect, right? Because, Joseph, I'm assuming that you do this for somebody else, right? You're part of a larger team. So now that larger team will also be expected to produce more. Maybe your team would only do 4 projects a year, but now you're going to be expected to do 9 projects a year, right? Because now it's not just you saving the 2 hours, it's you and the 5 other people on your team saving 2 hours. So that's an extra 10 hours a day. Well, that's another employee, right? If your team is saving 10 hours a day, well, that's another employee. So it's going to have those types of effects where it's not, hey, I saved this time. It's, I produced more, right? So let me know what you guys think about that. Let me know in the chats what you guys think about that. Because I understand, I'm just giving you guys my view, but I understand where that wouldn't be appealing to a lot of people. Well, am I going to be paid more? Maybe, maybe not, right? It's still your 8-hour day, right? So should you be paid more? I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. Let me know what you guys think. Thank you for the introductions, guys. I'm seeing a couple. Hey, Pratish here from India. Nice, Pratish. Welcome. Pratish, I want to say it's your first time, so welcome. Let us know if there's anything we can help you with. If you have any questions, anything relating to data science, you're welcome to ask, okay? Star Ace Penguin, thank you for the introduction. Hello, I'm a computer science major in Georgia. Nice, thank you so much. This is my first time commenting in your live stream. Welcome. You're not alone. I'm getting new users all the time on YouTube, on Instagram. I think YouTube and Instagram are my biggest growing ones. But I'm still growing on X, But yeah, thank you for introducing yourself. I know a lot of people are shy, maybe they see the live stream, but thanks so much for stepping up. Computer science major in Georgia. Okay. Are you saying Georgia the country or Georgia the state in the U.S.? Let me know. Let me know what you mean. But I appreciate you being here. All right. So Denelson asks, in your experience, what have you seen makes an effective worker and shows their potential to become a lead? Is efficiency more important than tuning the social aspects of DS? No, Denelson. I think that the tuning the social aspects of DS is much more important and leads to much more leadership. Yeah. So Denelson, you're asking a great question because, I always have like little pieces of things that I've learned in my career that I want to share with all of you, but I don't always have like the right avenue. Like there's little things that I learned that they wouldn't make like a whole video, but I just never share them because I don't have the opportunity to do that, right? So what you're reminding me of, Denelson, is one of the things I really miss about working in a good large corporate environment is they give you a lot of training. I really miss the training that I would get at some of these companies, believe it or not. And one of the things that I took a course on leadership and on power at Cornell, and really interesting course. Really helped me think about different things. And one of the things I remember, like my biggest takeaway from that course was that technical ability is a form of leadership. You being good at what you do is a form of leadership. If you can develop your skills and develop yourself as a good, analysts and data scientists, whatever you want to call it, that delivers good projects because you know the tech side in and out, people will notice that. And it can lead into leadership. But here's the thing. When it comes to data science, a lot of that technical stuff that we do is not easy to understand, right? How great are you? Let me say that a different way. How great are you at data science if your boss can't understand you when you're talking to them about data science? Not so great, right? Because remember, when I said that having technical skills, I mean that for a lot of things. Like you could be a really good accountant, and if you're really good at accounting or auditing, your bosses will see that and that can lead into leadership. But in that field, your boss is also likely to be another accountant. They're likely to be another auditor that can recognize that skill in you and say, wow, this person really stands out to me in their technical ability for accounting, right? So take that over to data science. Your boss, like your big bosses, the ones that are able to promote you, they may not always know the technical side of data science, right? And you could actually say that that's a rare occurrence. So Denelson, I think that the social aspects of data science are important because if you really feel confident in your skills, you're really doing good work, then you also have to have the ability to demonstrate it and show people and say, hey, how are you? I'm Dennis. I'm here to talk to you about my project. This is what the project means to me. This is what the project means to you, so on and so forth. And you got to do it in a personable way and in using plain words, plain English, right? Or whatever the intended language is, right? Because they're not going to know how great you are unless you're able to explain how great your work is. They're not that your bosses, are not going to be data scientists. Your immediate leads and your immediate bosses might be, right? But that's kind of like the trick to data science. So yes, it's great to be efficient, don't get me wrong, but I think it's better to have those social aspects of data science. I think it's better to have that because it's easier to demonstrate how good your skills are if you can talk to people in plain language. So I hope that helps, Denelson. I think it'll make more sense for those of you that have some corporate experience, because a lot of people really haven't worked in a environment where you have bosses that don't really know what data science is, right? Or at least they don't know like the latest techniques that you might be using in your work, right? So keep that in mind, Denelson. But I think that's the best answer I can give you. Okay, so Star Ice Penguin. What was your? Did you give us a name, Star Ice Penguin? The state. Okay, you meant the state. I should have been more specific. Okay, very cool. Well, there's a lot of good schools in Georgia. Are you at Georgia Tech or? Because I know Georgia Tech has an analytics and data science program that's supposed to be very popular. But yeah, glad you're here. If there's any questions that we can help you with, let us know. But yeah, if anybody has any other questions, I'm here for you guys. I'm here as long as you need me. As long as people want to ask things or people want to introduce themselves, please let us know your city, state, province, country, and happy to help you guys with anything else. All right. It's kind of weird, but I just noticed that today might be my first stream with none of my moderators in here. That is crazy. We've had a pretty good streak there where all the moderators attended, but today I'm not seeing any moderators in the stream. That's crazy. So I'm out here by myself, guys. One more thing, because again, I know a couple of you are new. Sundays, tomorrow, I do a little bit of a longer tutorial series. So every Sunday, we do something longer, 2 to 3 hours is where we usually fall in. And right now we're in the middle of a series where we are building a complete data science project from scratch. There are, we've gone through a methodology, we've established a client, we've established the some of the planning we need to do, a bunch of the moving parts, right? And tomorrow we're going to continue with the ideation, scoping, kind of like the model building ish stuff that we're doing. So it should be, it's always a fun stream on Sundays. So I invite you to come. I invite you to join in the conversation. I try to make things very interactive. So, I rely on a lot of you for the answers. So if you want to come tomorrow, it's at the same time that this stream started. So feel free to join us. It's gonna be really good. We have a really good we got a really good series going on right now. And there's some people who just come on Sundays because they enjoy the tutorial so much. Over on Instagram, Rahul, our good friend Rahul. Hello, cutie. How are you doing? I got a job in quality. What? Congratulations. That's awesome, man. You got a job. All right. Rahul, I know you've been looking for a job for a little bit. So really happy for you. Really happy that you got a job. Let us know about it. So I got a job, quality assurance with AI. Okay, Rahul. So to me, that means you're doing human validation, right? They're going to show you two different outputs, one from the computer, one's the ground truth, and then you're the human validator that says yes or no, right? So how close am I? Am I right about that? But I think that's usually what QA with AI usually means, right? You're part of a human validation team, which, by the way, guys, very, very important. And me describing that does not minimize that job. Human validation, super, super important. Lots of companies go wrong in that. But Rahul, I cannot tell you how happy I am that you got a job. Really happy for you, my friend. So let us know about it. Let us know more about it if you want. When do you start? Is it remote? Is it in Delhi? Because I know you were moving to Delhi, so let us know. Let us know. Can't find a data science job, but still happy. No. Don't do that to yourself. Do not let that be the thief of your joy. You got a job and you're at least in the industry. That's important, right? It's important. Rahul, I think this is also maybe your first job in data science, right? I think it's your first job in data science. Look, Rahul, and this is for everybody else, right? Because I know a lot of you are in different parts of your career, maybe looking for an internship, your first job, your second job, mid-career. Look, when you're starting out like this, your goal is just to walk away, after a couple of years or whatever, walk away with good references. That's all you want to do. You don't want to become the world's best human validator, but you want to go in there and do your best job and have somebody who can speak well of you and say, yeah, Rahul's a good guy. I enjoyed being his boss. That's all you need, right? Because that's how you build a career over the long term. So don't sell yourself short by saying, oh, it's not a data science job. No, forget that. You're still in the industry. Be positive, right? Right now, your whole goal is to go in there, show up on time, do a good job, do the best you can, and have somebody who's going to speak well of you for your references, right? And also, you're going to put this on your resume, right? So, yeah, don't do that to yourself, my friend. You're doing well, right? You got a job, which is still good, right? They're paying you, aren't they? Right? That's not a bad thing, right? So good for you, my friend. Really happy for you. Let us know more about it if you'd like. Okay. Denelson says, "Congrats, Rahul." Yeah, guys, if you want to send your congratulations to Rahul, please do that. I mean, it's always fun to see people get a job, right? To me, it's also very personally satisfying. We've had people who have gotten together to collaborate on their master's thesis. I think I've had at least 2 other people tell me they got a job because of the information they picked up here. So yeah, it's been It's really, I'm really happy for you, Rahul. I'm really happy for anybody who progresses and works forward, you know? So really, really happy for you, Rahul. So guys, send your congratulations to Rahul. It's always nice to see somebody from our community, rise up a little bit, right? So congratulations to Rahul. So Rahul says, yes, Dennis, you got it. Yeah, that's what QA and AI usually means. But very important part of the process, guys. Do not, if you guys want something important, write this down. Write this down. Never, ever, ever let a client have you start an NLP or image processing project without having your human validation team in place. Massive mistake to do that. You got to have human validation for both of those. And there's other types of projects, right? But NLP and image processing never start without having a human validation team. Siddharth says, Siddharth from Indore, India. Nice, welcome, Siddharth. And I don't think it's your first time. I think you've been here before, but welcome. Glad to see you. Hope your weekend is going well. Joseph says, please keep sharing your corporate experience because it's what makes your videos special. What? A lot of things make my videos special. And I bought your audiobook. Oh, thanks so much. Really appreciate your support. You know what? Recording an audiobook is like the hardest thing I've done this year. It is difficult to do an audiobook, guys. Don't let anybody tell you to do an audiobook. It was hard. Oh my gosh, I had to sit here with my microphone for I think it took me 12 hours to record it. Oh, that was brutal. But thank you so much for your support. If you guys don't know what he's referring to, that's my book, Your First Year in Data Science. It's available on Amazon. I have a print, audio, and an ebook version. The ebook version is priced to be affordable, in most parts of the world. But thank you so much for your support, Joseph. I don't sell cheap courses. I don't have a Patreon. I don't ask for people to send me money. The book is really the best way to support me. Otherwise, my content is free. But thank you so much for your support, Joseph. Yeah, I guess, sharing the corporate experience is fun, but I just like giving more of a real world view, right? I'm giving you the stuff that nobody else talks about because they don't know it. They don't know any better, right? I'm really just here to kind of fight those idiot influencers who are, quite frankly, take advantage of good people like all of you, right? With the fake promises and all that, But thank you, Joseph. Really appreciate your support and your kind words. Noor, our good friend Noor is back. Hello, Dennis. Regarding the why question we were discussing yesterday, creativity and innovation are things I was always passionate about, but things like graphic design are kind of shallow to me. Okay. They are not very thought-provoking. I like continuous learning and to look at things from different angles. I also constantly like to plan in beforehand and look into the future. I am an INTJ. I think I'm an INTJ also. Although sometimes I do flip between the E and the I. Okay. Okay, so that's okay. Actually, first of all, sorry guys, let me take a step back here. Because some of you may not have been in the chat here yesterday. But Noor was sharing some of their challenges with going into data science. They have a degree in, I think it was computer software, computer engineering, where it was interesting, but maybe not the full path they want to follow. So I was giving a little bit of pushback on trying to find out the reasons for wanting data science. And I will do that with anybody, because whenever somebody says, oh, Dennis, I want to do what you do. I want to be a data scientist. I'm always going to ask you why. What's your motivation for that? Why are you here? Right? So that's what Noor here is trying to answer, right? Okay. So Noor, if you're talking about creativity and innovation, then okay, cool. You might be on the right track there with data science, right? Because data science does require a lot of those soft skills of creativity and innovation. And that's good because that's the stuff that I really can't teach, right? I, as the manager, cannot teach you that. I can't teach you to be innovative, right? So if that's the case, then I think you're on the right track. So good for you, right? So where does that leave you next? So for somebody like you who already has some pretty good training, right? You're obviously intelligent if you're able to get through your degree program. It's super tempting to rush into Python, rush into learning neural networks and all that. But my recommendation is always learn a methodology. As I've told people before, and I tell some of my coaching clients, data science is not a thing. It's not Python. It's not algorithms. It's a process, right? So Noor, if you want to see more of that, I encourage you to come to our sessions on Sundays, because on Sundays, we're basically following a process, right? We're basically following a methodology of what data science should be. Because that's really what you should ultimately be seeking to learn. Everything else beyond that are just tools of how you execute the process, right? So Python isn't data science. Python is just another tool to help you execute data science. But technically speaking, you could do data science with pen and paper, right? You don't need Python. Like, it's not an absolute requirement to use Python. So that's where I would ask you to take your progression next, Noor. To kind of put your degree items and stuff to the side and just think about, well, what is data science, right? Like, what is the methodology that I'm trying to follow? What is the role of the scientific method in data science? Because if you can do that, then you can kind of start kind of like developing your own learning path. Like, oh, okay, now I see why Python is needed, but I could also do that with R, so maybe I want to learn R. Oh, okay, now I understand when you would use a neural network and then maybe when you wouldn't, right? So that's where I would encourage you to go next. So you're welcome to join us on Sundays. Anybody is welcome to join us on Sundays. But that's really more where I talk about that methodology of data science. And you can see how we build a project from beginning to end. So Noor, really appreciate that you thought about that overnight. Really appreciate it that you came back and shared those thoughts with us. So I think you're on the right track. I think your heart's in the right place when you're talking about those why reasons. So that's really what I would encourage you to do next, right? Step away from the Python and all the YouTube tutorials and buy this course. You got to buy my course. You got to do. Just figure out, what is data science? What is the process of data science? And I think that's a good step for you to continue. So Siddharth says, currently advocate, but now want to switch to data science job. Any help? Siddharth, what do you mean by advocate? Currently advocate? Sorry, I don't know what that means. Like, is that like a lawyer? Let me know, okay? Rahul says, thanks, Denelson. Yeah, thanks, Denelson, for, cheering our community on, right? Because we should be doing that, right? Let me just continue with Rahul's item here. Hey, Dennis, I am happy. The feedback was great. Wonderful, Rahul. So Rahul, let us know. Is this in Delhi? Is this remote? What are you doing? Let us know. I'm interested. Only share what you can, right? What you're comfortable with. Joseph says, congrats, Rahul. Star Ice says, congratulations. Siddharth, congratulations. Starry Vibes, congratulations. Yeah, you know what, guys? Thanks so much for, giving all the love to Rahul. I love that the community, can help each other rise up. So thank you so much for that. Joseph is referring to my previous comment. Good references and work relations is the most important capital one can have. Money can be found. Trust must be built. Yep, absolutely, Joseph. So Rahul, I hope you'll read Joseph's comment here, because, I think it's good advice, right? Go in there. You're at least in the industry, right? You got one step into the data science industry. Go in there, do the best job you can. And remember what I tell you guys, reputation matters, right? So Rahul, start building a reputation, a positive reputation, obviously. Get some good references, get some people that'll speak well of you, and you'll just keep going, man. This is the start of a big train for you, so I'm really excited for you. This is awesome. I'm really glad when people get jobs. So let me go back to okay, so Rahul, let me continue with Rahul's items here. I see your other questions, guys. I'm gonna come back to them, but I like to stay on this thread. I feel like I will turn into a machine. AI would verify me. The work is hectic, a lot SOPs. Yeah, but it's important work, Rahul, right? It's important work to be a human validator, right? Because an algorithm doesn't know when it's gone right or when it's gone wrong. So the work you're doing is very important. So don't sell yourself short. This is still an important part of the entire process. And you're definitely, you're on your way to building a career in the data science industry, right? You got to start somewhere. Everybody starts somewhere. And as I've told you guys before, and somebody found the video game, by the way, my first job ever, like in tech, not my first job ever, but my first like grown-up job in tech, like a professional job, I did QA. I did QA for video games. That's how I started like my technical career. I did QA for Disney, for the Walt Disney Company. Back in this would have been like the mid 90s. They had their studio, Disney Interactive. They would produce video games, and I worked in their QA lab. At one time, little trivia for you guys, at one time, Disney Interactive had the largest QA lab in the entire country. And I was one of their QA people. I worked up to be a QA lead, and I was also a database lead. And my name is in a couple of video games, actually. And somebody found it. I think Joseph, one of my moderators, found it. But like I started in QA, right? So QA is very important. Don't poo-poo that, right? So really happy for you, Rahul. And just go in there and do a great job. Okay, so let me go back here. Okay, so Star Ice Penguin says, right now I'm building a system that detects misinformation before it spreads, and the system uses topological techniques to mitigate and control the spread. I'm at the beginning stages of this project. Nice. I assume there's like some social media component to it, or like what are you monitoring for the spread? Like social media or like comments, YouTube videos, I guess would also be one. But sounds interesting. Are you doing that as part of like a school assignment or on your own? I'm curious. Let me know. Siddharth says, follow you all the time and listen to grow. Thanks so much, Siddharth. I appreciate that. Yeah, I would certainly hope that people learn and there's a progression that comes from this, right? Or maybe you'll go read some of the books that I recommend, because I'm constantly throwing out books, or as much as I can. I'm just sharing my experience, guys. That's all I can do, right? I'm sharing my reality, my experience with all of you. That's it, So, to Joseph's earlier point, I do try to give my corporate experience because I have led a lot of teams, a lot of projects. But I'm just giving you my life experience and all that. I know a lot of you are new, so I'll say this again. For me, I take data science very seriously. It's like being a lawyer or a doctor. It's a profession that you dedicate yourself to. So that's why I hate the idiot influencers who are out there telling you can be a data scientist in 2 months. That's offensive to me, right? You're offending my profession. Like I've put years and years into this, right? And just like with doctors, just like with lawyers, right? The experienced people teach the newer people, right? An older lawyer usually helps the younger lawyers, right? So this is me, right? This is me reaching my hand back, helping the next generation of data scientists, because I want the profession to grow, right? Data science is bigger than me. So yeah, I hope you guys are growing. I hope you guys are learning. The best, a great way to learn is to come on Sundays, because again, that's when we do more of like the practical stuff, and it's also longer. But you're welcome, you guys are welcome to come and stay as long as you'd like, but I really appreciate all your support. Faz, Joining us on Instagram, I think it's your first time. Hi, Dennis Faz from Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. First time here. Nice. Seeing your videos and thanks for all the knowledge sharing. We'll definitely try to get the book. Thank you so much. Really appreciate that. Really appreciate you being here. Yeah, if you want to support me via my book, really appreciate that. But welcome. And, I'm really glad to see more people who are willing to participate and be part, because for some reason this week has been a lot of that, because I see the viewership, right? But people are shy. People don't always want to participate, and that's okay. Everybody can participate on their own time, share what you like. But it's always nice to see people who are willing to take that next step. So thank you, Faz. Hope you're doing well in Malaysia. I've always wanted to visit Malaysia. I've heard it's a beautiful country. But really glad you're here. Thanks for that. Noor says, thanks, Dennis. I really appreciate your questions and how to approach this field the right way. You're welcome, Noor. If there's anything else you need help with, let us know. But again, if you want to see a methodology in progress, in work, feel free to come to our class tomorrow. Or also, Noor, I know that you're part of our Discord. So on the Discord this morning, I did post part 5 of last week's session. And you can see in that session where I display some of the methodology graphs that I use. So maybe you want to start by looking at that video too, because that's what's going to show you the progression of a project. And that in itself is kind of like a little bit of a learning path, because again, you're learning data science at the high level, the process, and then you're saying, well, everything else is just a toolbox, right? If I need to do data collection, what are the tools for that? If I need to do model development, what are the tools for that? If I need to deploy, what are the tools for that, right? And that way you're learning data science and then the tools, not the other way around as most people try to teach, right? Penguin says, yes, I will be using social media comments. I'm doing it on my own, then probably use what I learned for my research paper for undergrad. Very cool. Very cool. I love that you're doing it on your own. So what I would tell you, Penguin, that I'm a big advocate of, bring that project to a final conclusion and then try to find a way to publish an article on LinkedIn or something else that you can add to your resume. But don't tell me your technical conclusions. Tell me your business impact conclusion. Like, what business am I that is interested in your product? And what is the business impact that you can have on my business? If you can do that, then you have a really, really powerful addition to your resume, right? Because then that becomes your writing sample when you start looking for jobs. That becomes what you discuss in your in your interviews when you start landing those interviews, right? So keep that in mind. But I love that you're doing it on your own. It sounds like an interesting project. I'm guessing that there's other previous approaches or previous theories that you can probably build on top of, right? There's other people that have done this, right? Yeah, so something tells me that there's probably other work you can kind of build on top of or reference. But it sounds like an interesting project, so I wish you the best of luck with it. Feel free to keep on coming back and let us know, how it's progressing. But yeah. Good for you. Good for you for taking on a project like that. So if you're just joining us, again, we ask people to introduce themselves. Let us know your city, state, province, country. But it's been a really interesting chat so far. Really great questions. I'm glad that we were able to help our friend Noor. Star Ice Penguin, thanks so much for coming and joining the discussion and telling us about your project. Who was our other new person? Siddharth? Yeah, Siddharth was new, and I think also Faz was new. So thanks so much for joining, guys. Keep on coming back. But most of all, of course, I am happy for our friend Rahul. who was able to get a job in AI. So that's just awesome. Really, really happy for you, Rahul. And thank you to everybody in the chat who sent Rahul, his good wishes, because I think that's really good. So Rahul, we're gonna close this chat by wishing you, clarity and ability in that job, so that you can go in there, do your best, get your career rolling. Right? You're in the AI industry. That's what matters, right? Don't worry about the role. The fact is that you're in the industry, right? So keep going. I think you're also on our Discord, so feel free to send us updates. Let us know how it's doing, how the job's going, let us know how we can support you. But just really happy to see people that are able to, get started in their career. So congratulations again to Rahul. So everybody, I really appreciate the time we spent. Thank you so much. Tomorrow, Sunday, come to our longer tutorial. It's at the same time that this stream was, so whatever time that is, it's 1500 GMT, that's what I advertised, but whatever time it was in your local area, come back tomorrow, and we'll continue our series. It's going to be really interesting. But thank you so much for spending the time with me. As always, a lot of craziness happening in our world and many parts of the world, so please take care of yourselves, take care of your families, and I'll see you next time.